Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 409. I'm here with Coach Keith, Coach Panda. Everybody should know who this guy is, Keith Wittenstein. He's one of the OGs, right?
Yep.
Original. So anyway, I brought him on today because he's been an inspiration. He actually taught my level 1. He's been an inspiration for me for a long time, so I figured why not get some of that knowledge from him as well. One of the things that he's known for is, do you call it the Panda Stretch?
The Panda Stretch.
The Panda Stretch, right? And I'm horrible at it, so I figured that he would be better at walking you guys through it. So that's what we're gonna do right about now. Keith.
Awesome. So this is a little weighted hamstring stretch. You need a box and a kettlebell. You can use a barbell, some dumbbells, whatever you got. What I'll have people do is start off with just a little warm-up. It's called a Jefferson Curl. It's an old school move. You just round the spine, looking at this full flexion of the hip and spine. Go down and roll back up. Just kind of loosening up the tissues and getting through that full range of motion.
How much weight would I use? Because obviously you're using this amount, but like if I'm like a 110-pound girl, am I using the same weight?
Yeah, start light. Be conservative. You know, this is a good stretch for people who are, you know, been lifting weights, their hamstrings are tight, and you need a little bit of extra help with gravity to put some stimulus in those hamstrings and get them to stretch a little bit. But definitely start light, you know, a little 8 kilo, 12 kilo kettlebell is fine. Once you get the rhythm for it, the feel for it, add a little weight until you feel like you're at a good place.
Gotcha. So a lot of people like this, you said that if we have super tight hamstrings, decently athletic population, just going like this to touch my toes, I can stay in here all day, not gonna do a lot.
Exactly.
So I add this gets me a little bit extra stimulus, but if I was just to do it on the ground, the kettlebell is gonna bump into the ground. I'm never gonna get to the length that I'm looking to get to.
Exactly. So we elevate you up a little higher, give the kettlebell a little room to go down there, and then gives us a little more room to stretch.
Okay. What about the addition to it, the next step after that?
Yeah. So next step is what we want to do is one, get our back in a good position. Put a nice bit of traction through that spine and close off that hip angle. That hip compression is the first thing we want to do, get that full flexion of the hip. And then we're going to tension up the hamstrings via the knees. So I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to bring my belly to my thighs, hang as low as I can, release all the tension in my back, and then from here start to straighten out my knees to tension up my hamstrings and bring my length into
So I noticed that you're getting all the way to a full extended knee position and you're really closing off that hip. That's awesome. What happens, are we still able to do this if we can't get to a full extended knee position?
Absolutely, right? The goal is to lengthen the hamstring to the best of the ability. But you know, we want to prioritize that full hip flexion first, and then wherever your knees are bent to allow that to happen, and then just gradually increasing that tension over time, we'll start to put some length into those hamstrings and change the length of them. But it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But with the added weight, it's going to speed up that process a little bit faster than gravity by itself.
Awesome. All right, so one last question. So if I was super inflexible like myself, right, where I have a hard time getting to that full flexion, I still want to be able to use that same type of cycle where I'm going to extend my hamstring at the same time. What about if I just went up on 2 plates? I mean, obviously I want to get down as far, but that would be whatever my maximum depth was, right? So I wouldn't be handled to the ground, but I might be half the bell or something like that. Is that a way to scale it as well? Does that just make sense there?
Yeah, no, I mean, you can scale this. You can have the weight touching the floor lightly, but I like to have a little bit of
room
room
there. You
there.
always want to have tension on him. I always want to have the tension of weight.
Yeah, I always want to use that weight for a little bit of extra tension. And if it gets too much, the safety valve is always just to let go of the weight. You know, come back up to stand, catch your breath, make sure you're not dizzy. You know, have something to lean on, have a wall nearby. You know, because people get lightheaded being upside down and inverted for a little while.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to try this. You're going to correct me on anything that I do wrong. You kind of go from right there. Does it matter how wide we have our feet here or anything like that?
I like to go for a narrower stance, kind of like your pulling stance.
Okay.
So feet under the hips, but you know, wide enough that you can get the bell in there.
Okay. So what's the first thing that you see go wrong with the Jefferson Curl?
First thing I see go wrong is people just not having full flexion through the spine, right? You see the head is still kind of neutral. I'd like to see the chin tucked, get that full cervical, thoracic flexion, and then that lumbar flexion, just go all the way down, and then try to roll up through the spine, right? Take it slow, take it one vertebra at a time. Yeah.
You can see how much worse I am at this.
Yeah, so we want to have that full control of the spine, see if we can put movement through all those little facets through the spine and come back up nice and slow.
Is it bad that I feel this pulling on my butt cheeks?
No, it's not. I mean, this is going to engage the whole posterior chain. So that whole fascial line that runs from the back of your neck down to your heels is going to get stretched and
so once I get into this position, do I flatten the back there, or do I still keep it around?
Yeah, flatten the back a little bit. That's great. Belly to thigh. See that nice compression of the hip? That's what we want. And then from there, let your head go. Yeah.
So you gotta keep on. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a sign that there's some added tension in that posterior line of fascia, like unable to release the back of the neck. But we want to go into this position because it's going to allow us to also turn off the nervous system a little bit, down-regulate. Right? We want to relax here, breathe, and on the exhale, start to squeeze the quads and try to straighten the knees. Right? And you notice he loses some of that hip flexion as he goes there, and then inhale, bend a little bit, come back down. Yeah, bend the knees, soften a little bit here, and then take your time as you exhale, breathe, push the knees back. You're going to feel this all the way from the backs of your legs, all the way through your glutes, through the spine, into the back of the neck and shoulders. Yeah,
25 more minutes of that, I might be a new person. Dude, I love it. I think we should do it. If we're first starting out, how long should we practice doing this for?
Let your breath be your guide. Take the time to do it slow and relaxed. But blood's going to start pooling in your head. You're going to start getting a little hot-headed and a little bit claustrophobic under there. Drop the bell, come back up, catch your breath. You're going to build up to longer periods of time. Like I would say,
amazing already.
Yeah,
that's there.
Yeah, I would say try to get up to about 90 seconds to 2 minutes of holding time.
One period.
Yeah,
cool. Awesome.
But it's going to take a while, right, to slow the breath down, slow the mind down, and just allow the nervous system to relax. And when the nervous system relaxes, that's when you're going to start to see the change in the hamstring, because we hold a lot of neural
tension.
Yeah, a lot of neural tension in there. So just letting the mind start to quiet and the breath start to quiet, it's going to allow that stuff to soften and relax.
Perfect. I love it. Keith, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Guys, check him out, Coach Panda. Coach Panda?
Yeah, Coach Panda.
Awesome. Guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.